Peace and blessings, everyone. It's me. It's the coach. It's Coach Ed Gladney bringing you another episode 19 of Coach Ed Gladney's Read and Attack Sports Show Live. Thank you for tuning in today, everyone. I really appreciate you all. I'm looking forward to giving you my perspectives on a few subjects that I've been thinking about. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are ready to engage and give me your perspectives. So as always, make sure you guys like the episode on the Hardcore Sports Network, as well as Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sport. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and hit the notification so you know when new content is posted, and always share on all social media platforms. This will help you get it out into the algorithm and help the channel grow. So it allows me to, as it grows, give you more and more different content and connect more to you guys. So I really thank everyone for being here. Let me jump into the chat real quick. Thank you, the point guard of the Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you, bro. I love you too. I appreciate you, and nothing but respect as always. Just make sure you guys also leave me whatever you want to talk about in the chat. So let's get ready to turn it on and turn it up, as I like to say. And going to start with last night, man. Last night's finish was just wow. I mean, it was a good game overall, man. But that finish was, it was fantastic, man. It was nail biting. It had you sitting on the edge of your seat. I know it did for me. Let me just put it like that. It had me sitting on the edge of my seat, and what's going on? Did he make the catch? And then when you see Harbaugh saying, let's go for two, I'm like, okay, I get the gunslinger mentality. I probably would have done the same thing. Look, you're on the road. You just came back. I don't want to even go to overtime. Let's just do what we have to do and get things. Let's try and get this win or lose. I'm rocking with the guys that I'm with. So, but then after the review, to see that he was out by a toenail. Really, it's not a toe. Like people say a toe, I say a toenail. That's how close that was, man. Look, bro, if you're a size 14, maybe you could have been a 13 and a half. That way your foot would have been in, and there's the win. So, but hey, what can you say? Still a good game. Those two teams, that's why they're tops in the league. And I'm expecting big things out of both teams, going forward. So, but hey, it was still a good game. All the moves, everything that was done, watching Chris Jones, how he was playing games with the offensive line. What's up, Arku? You switched to Fubu TV. Okay. I hope that works for you, bro. So whatever works, I fully support, that goes for anyone, whatever, type of medium you need for watching, your favorite sports, do what you got to do, man. It's understandable. So, but, sitting back, watching, Mahomes and Jackson. I mean, Jackson really, his passing stats may have been okay, but, the rushing yards, come on, man. Was well over 300 yards in total offense, man. And that in itself is phenomenal. So, but again, like I said, it was just one of those games where, it just had you going, and you were wondering, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm looking at the strategies, of both coaching staffs, saying, well, maybe I would do this, maybe I would do that. And you know what? I did like it. So, while I'm not a big Harbaugh fan, either of the Harbaugh brothers, it still was, great coaching last night. So, sorry, guys, put that in the wrong section. So, but yeah, overall, good game, especially to kick off the season, because that's the other thing, it really kicked off the season well. As a fan, you're like, okay, great. This is going to be a great season, and, I'm really appreciating it. So, one of the things that, in watching the game, it did leave me saying, can Lamar Jackson get over the KC curse? I mean, seriously, can he? Because, for as great as he plays, for as as phenomenal of a talent as he is, it just seems like he can't get over the hump against KC, whether he has home field in the playoffs or whatever it is. It just seems like he's cursed whenever he's playing Kansas City. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, do you feel the same way? And you perform very well. Look at, he performed very well. And football is a team sport. It is, but we always give the quarterback all the praise. Well, can he get over the hump? Can he get over that KC curse? And right now, I would have to say no, he can't until he actually does it. When you're not doing it, then it's no. And you have to say no logically until you actually do it. So and that's the thing with Jackson and the Ravens. Let's be fair. He's going to have to prove that he can get over the hump, with going up against Kansas City, because if he can't, he's going to always be left in second place, man. Or left in being behind. What's up, Daniel Berry? What's up, brother? Thank you for tapping in, man. I appreciate you. Nothing but love and respect for you as always, man. So, but I know if it was me, yeah, I'd be frustrated. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm saying, look, I'm out here, I'm performing, I'm throwing for yards, I'm throwing touchdowns, I'm making plays, I'm running, making plays, and we're not getting over the hump, man. And it is frustrating when you sit down and you think about that. So, but I think they'll find a way to eventually one day get over the Kansas City Chiefs curse. Whether it's this year, whether it's next year, who knows? But eventually he will get over the hump, and he will be able to, get that victory. Especially during the playoffs. Get that victory so he can move on to the next chapter in his pursuit of a Super Bowl. So because that's always the ultimate goal. To win that Super Bowl. But, right now, the Kansas City Chiefs curse with Baltimore stands strong, man. And, hopefully, they find a way to at least get one, before Lamar Jackson leaves Baltimore or retires, one of the two. So, but, that's just my take. That's my perspective, on that situation. And again, great game last night. So, looking forward to seeing more. So the next thing I want to talk about, because since it is, the NFL is kicked off and it's that time, tonight you have the Packers and the Eagles. It's a big game. Now they're playing down in Brazil, so there's a lot of controversy there. Players weren't able to really go out and explore the city. You tried to be safe. Why is the NFL putting the game there in an environment that is not safe? That part I do agree. I really do agree. They were, talking to other Eagles fans earlier in the week and last week. The thought was, possibly there was wildfires in the area, but also in terms of this game, they were talking about possibly moving it back to the States. I don't know. Well, it looks like it's going to play through, so, and there you go. So, but with this game, will Love continue his ascension as a top quarterback in the league? And this is a good start. I mean, you're playing a top team in the league, in the conference, in the NFL for that matter. Some have projected that they're going to have one of the top defenses. Well, this is a way for him to, go ahead and make a name for himself going into this coming season. So, I think he's going to have the opportunity to really do that. They have Josh Jones now as a running back. He has some young receivers who are building themselves up. They're making a name for themselves. So their offense is good, and he has proven to be a very good quarterback, a young and good quarterback. He's not a rookie, where some people think he's old. This is his second year, because last year it's his second year as a starter. Yes, but it is not his second year in the league. He's been in the league for some time. Aaron Rodgers went through the same thing. So, that's the thing. And he's shown that, he can go out there and win. He's won in the playoffs on the road down in Dallas. So he has the necessary prerequisites to go out and continue to his climb to be one of the better quarterbacks within the league. I really think he does. Now can he get that Super Bowl before his time is done? You know, I'm going to take a wait and see approach there. But Love has the ability to continue to grow his game and take it to higher levels. So, and again, this is a great time for him and the Packers to really go ahead and grow their brand, with what they're trying to do. And again, I really think it's a great time, and I think he's going to continue to be one of the better quarterbacks. Will he ultimately be the number one? I mean, you're still playing against Patrick Mahomes. There's some other good quarterbacks, but he is young, and now you have Caleb Williams coming in, who everyone projects to be the next greatest thing. Daniels down in Washington. May, Nix. Penix. All these young quarterbacks are there, so he has the. He's going to develop with those same quarterbacks in a sense, but can he end up eventually being that top quarterback down the road? You even have Purdy out in San Francisco. Purdy is a young quarterback, so it's not like he doesn't have a free reign, a free run, in terms of Love and his opportunity to grow. But we'll see what happens as his game continues to develop. So, but yes, I do think he has the abilities to be that better quarterback. Now, on the other side, the Saquon Barkley era with the Philadelphia Eagles begins. And will Saquon Barkley be the dynamic running back that many had projected him to be coming out of Penn State? Will he have the opportunity with the Eagles? Because with my New York Giants, it wasn't always a good fit. Things just happened, whether it was injuries, didn't have the offensive line. Now he has an offensive line. He has a good team around him. You're not going to face loaded box. So will he be dynamic? Will he stay healthy to be that dynamic back, that many have projected? And I'm intrigued to see, just not against my Giants. I'm not going to lie. I want my Giants to sweep them 2 times. Excuse me. But if things go according to plans, this could be a great opportunity for him to take his game to another level. And will he eventually push it to the point of being at a level with Christian McCaffrey? And that's high praise. That's high praise in this day and age, of football. But the opportunity is there for Saquon Barkley, and now is the time for him to, show up and show out. And we'll see. We will really see. There's many in Giants land who want to see him crash and burn. They feel that, he sold the team out, saying that he wanted to be a Giant for life, but then, he goes to the Eagles, didn't go anywhere else. Me, I'm not of that mindset. I don't care. Players come and go. It's just I want to see my team win. And when those players who were there at that point in time help my team win. It's not about one particular person. I don't care if a player says that, oh, he wants to be, with my team for life. That's not reality to me. We don't live in that type of era. When there was no free agency and the teams controlled everything, okay, I can see it. But now I don't accept that, that type of thinking personally. I don't begrudge anyone else who does, but I don't. Saquon Barkley is a player. They're going to do whatever they feel that they need to do for their career. on the field and financially. And I'm not mad at someone for that, And I don't care that he went to, the Eagles. I'd rather you do that because now we face you twice a year and we could smack you around twice a year. That's just my thinking. But I get other fans and I understand their perspectives and where they're coming from. And they're entitled to it. I just don't subscribe to that and I won't. You know, I don't run for competition. I accept it and I embrace it. And Saquon Barkley as an Eagle, okay, when you face my Giants twice a year, I'm expecting you to get smacked around. After the game, hey, if the guys want to go out and have a beer, hey, go out and have a beer, reminisce, whatever you want to do, you know. Now, in terms of any other games, I'm expecting Barkley to show his what he's able to do. I really am. I think he has the ability if you give him blocking and you allow him to do what he's supposed to do, what he's been built to do. So what'd you say, Arku? Hold on a second, let me take a look here. I love NFL Plus, gotta watch it on my iPad. Oh, okay. Hey brother, do your thing. I understand, I have NFL Plus too, so I watch it from my phone, my computer, doesn't matter. It's a great skill. And getting the opportunity to watch film, I like that. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hopefully things will work out to where you can go ahead and tap into Peacock. So but in terms of Barkley and what he's going to bring to the table for the Eagles, it's I think he will. I really do. I really think he will be able to um, produce in a way that will allow him to be successful. So I'm intrigued, to see it, just to see how well he does. And going up against a Packers team to start. The Packers are no slouch. As the almighty Stephen A. Smith will say, they're no scrubs. So they're going to come out and they're going to take it to him. And when you play against competition, though, that's your opportunity to take your game up. And you should always want to compete against competition. You want to always compete against the best. Hey, if you get blown out, go back and look at the film, get into the weight room, study, and then come back and smack them in the face. That's the way I was always conditioned. That's the way I was always raised, as a coach, as a player. And that's the way I've always coached my players up. And if you were to play for me, that's how I'm going to tell you. I'm not running from a challenge. I'm not running from the best. I don't care who's the best. I'm going to line up with whoever I have, and we're going to compete, and we're going to compete to win. We're not just going to compete to be there. We're going to compete to win, and we're competing to win championships. And that's just the way I am. And I don't accept the ideology, oh well, your players are not the greatest. Well, if they're on my team, they are the greatest. So but again, getting back to the point of the Eagles and the Packers, this is an intriguing game. Also being that it's down in Brazil, I talked a little bit about the security. How is that going to play out tonight? How will how comfortable will the players be? Because that's also another factor. You have to be comfortable when you're coaching and you're playing. If you're in an environment that you don't feel safe, is your performance going to show? Is it going to be reflective of that? And that's something that tonight, whenever I turn on the game, I'm going to pay attention to. I'm going to see. I'm going to see if the players are comfortable out there, if the coaches are comfortable. We'll see how it goes. What's up, Bruce Harper? Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you, man. I hope you and your family are doing well, brother. So thank you again. So I feel the Eagles will win tonight, probably by more than a ton. I actually have the Packers winning. I think the Packers will win. I think it'll be a little bit closer. The Packers are not a slouch team. They're a good team. So and I think the big possibility will probably come down to the quarterback play more than anything. It will come down to will Love or will it be hurt? Will it be hurt? So, but I actually in my pickums I have picked the Packers. So, um, and we'll see how right I am. So, it's not about them being the Eagles. I just really think the Packers, they have the quarterback. Their defense is pretty staunch. It's a good defense. It may not be number one in the league, but it's a formidable defense. So, and again, the Packers they can run the football, they can pass the football. So, and I'm not saying the Eagles can't. The Eagles can too. They can run and pass. But it's also a matter of how much are they going to try to give the ball to Saquon Barkley to have him feel fully integrated into the team. These are just little things that I'm going to be taking little notes on, as the game plays on. So, so let's see. I agree. It could come back to the quarterbacks, and I believe Hurts is a true superstar. I'm much better than Love. Also, I feel we must be hungry. Hey, I understand you're going to believe in your team. You're going to be supportive of your team. So, I wouldn't expect anything less. So, go ahead, believe in your team, believe in your quarterback. You're supposed to do that. So, but but again, that's what I'm thinking in terms of this game. What's ultimately going to happen. You know, in terms of who's going to end up coming out on the winning side. So, but now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next subject, and I'm going to talk about my New York Football Giants. Oh well, yeah, I know the Giants. They're quote unquote a bad team, but hopefully we're going to surprise team. As we prepare for Minnesota. Minnesota. They're out some players. I know they're out Hawkinson and I know they're and everything goes through Sam Darnold. Sam, I see Ghost Darnold. That's the one thing. Ken Tibbs and Ken Dexter Lawrence and Ken Brian Burns. Get there and get pressure on him, Coach Ed. But what you say makes sense. So maybe I'm wrong, but no, you're not wrong. You're entitled to how you believe, and I fully support that, bro. Don't ever back down for that just because I see things differently. We can agree to disagree, and let the games play out. I mean, that's the beauty of sports, man. You're gonna pick a side, you're gonna pick a perspective, and let's let things play out and see where they go. So, you're not wrong, bro. Don't think that. You're perfectly fine. So but in terms of the Giants, as we prepare for Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings, now they have an elite wide receiver. I give them that. Not going to take anything away from them there. So, um, but the Giants, if they can get to Darnold and they can put pressure on him, that's one thing that throughout his career he has proven. He can be smacked around and he can become a little bit shaky. So, but that's just about any quarterback. Honestly, and not getting mad at me for my feelings about. No, I can never get mad at someone for their feelings, man. That's your feelings. That's who am I to tell somebody how to feel? I'm not gonna let anybody tell me how to feel. So you're good. You're welcome, bro. And that goes for anyone. I may disagree with you, so I may not accept what you're saying, but I'll support it, support your right. What's up, Koof, man? Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you. So, but hey, bro, and it's sports. That's the one thing I've learned in 40 plus years of being involved in the game. It's sports, man. It's not brain surgery. It's not heart surgery. It's not a firefighter going into, a burning building to save someone's life. Man, it's football. It's sports. Yes, they get paid a lot of money. Yes, they put themselves on the line for our entertainment. But in the end, it's a kid's game. Really, that's what it is. It's a kid's game. So, I don't go to that extreme, Bruce. So you're good. You're good, man. You're good with me. So seriously. So, but in terms of the Giants, preparing for Minnesota, I think the trenches are going to be a big factor in this game, and that's on both sides of the ball. Whose lines can control the line of scrimmage? Now, I do expect Minnesota with Brian Flores over there to throw some blitzes, because that's the natural thinking. How can the Giants handle blocking pressure? You have a new offensive line coach. You have pretty much three-thirds, three-fifths, I'm sorry, of a new offensive line. They haven't played together. You don't have Saquon Barkley back there. The Daniel Jones narrative. All that's out there, Coach Ed, I agree, but I don't have as much knowledge about sports as you do. So I always learn from you, and I want to say thank you and also appreciate you. Well, you're welcome, Bruce. You're welcome. So, and that's what I'm here for. So, anytime. So, but yeah, getting back to this game, it's going to be about the trenches. Football to me is always about the trenches, no matter what. Patrick Mahomes, you can say what you want, but if he's consistently getting hit and not having the ability to make those dynamic passes, he's not going to be able to make those dynamic passes. So, and that's where I think this game is when it won and lost. Are the Giants able to establish a running game and give Daniel Jones protection? And, for Minnesota, are they also able to give Aaron Donald protection as well as set up their running game? So that's really where everything lies, and that's where everything comes from. So, if the Giants are able to run, because that's the first thing. If you're able to run, the New York Giants are able to run. You can say what you want about Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is very good at play action. And I'm talking about, when I say play action, where he's under the center and he's taking a handoff and turning his back to the defense and putting his hand out like he's giving the running back a handoff, where that's forcing the linebackers and maybe even a safety to come up and play the run. And then you could sneak a receiver behind them and he can get his head around and find them and throw the ball to them. So that way they can make plays. He is good about that. He is very good. He is good with that. To be honest with you, he learned from one of the best, which was Eli Manning. As a long-night Eagles fan, I never rooted for the Giants, but I hope they have a good year, as I know they are your favorite team. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, exactly. If the Lions' offense or defense can't do their jobs, that's how you lose games. And exactly, Koof, man. I mean, I'm a former defensive lineman. I'm telling you, that's what I played in college and minor league, semi-pro. And I played both sides of the ball in minor league, semi-pro. And we always made a key about it, getting physical in the run game, playing on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage, not allowing them to play on the outside of the line of scrimmage. In college, that's how we were too. Coach Ed, I must root for the Eagles hey, root for your Eagles, bro. I'm rooting for my Giants. I'm rooting for my Giants to smack y'all around. I always have a saying, man, and this is the thing. This is where some fans take it way too far. All right. I've coached against former players that were played for me. And I always said, look, between those white lines when we're playing, you're my enemy. Matter of fact, one of my cousins was on a team that I coached against. He was my enemy. After the game, it's all love, man. Want to go get a drink? Go drink some beer? Let's go drink some beer. Hey, we want to go chase the honeys? Let's go chase the honeys. You want to sit and chit chat? Whatever. Once the game is done, you leave it on the field. Fans, we tend not to, because we're so consumed. We're so mentally and emotionally invested. But if you were to physically go out there and play, being a fan, I guarantee you, once the game is done, you're going to be like, man, I can't do this. I got to let that go. And that's the whole thing. I root for the team more than I root for players. That's just me. Do I want players to be safe? Yes. But once the game is done, it's done. You move on to the next one. And if your season is done after the season, what do you have to do to get better? Coach Ed, do you remember the big pass from Eli Manning that the Giants receiver caught on it? Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember it very well. So it's one of the great Giant Super Bowl passes, along with one of my favorite Giants, Mark Bavaro, tipping a pass, and Phil McConkey ended up catching it for a touchdown in the Giants' first Super Bowl win. So, yeah, I know about a lot of the big stuff. So, and that Eli Manning pass, yeah, that was definitely a special pass. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's easy. I can accept that. I really can. Some people say the Mario Manningham catch down in front of Bill Belichick when he had a very small window to keep his feet in bounds, and he made it and fell out of bounds to help the Giants move forward. So, but yeah, the Giants have had the opportunity of making plays like that to allow them to win the Super Bowl. So. And to be honest, that's what I'm hoping this year. I want to see Malik Neighbors take off and help the other guys on the team raise their game. I think Wandale Robinson is going to be a very key figure to the Giants' progression this year. How does if Neighbors is pulling two defenders, Wandale Robinson is coming underneath, making plays and helping the team move down the field, and again, they're going to work together. It's not just going to be about one superstar player. And that's where, many people get confused. And I understand fantasy football, you're rooting for this player and that player, and I get it, where I look at the team. What does the team do? What's the weakest link on that team? Hey, do you feel any team will hire Belichick this year or next year as a head coach? It's probably going to be next year. It's not going to be this year. He's going to want a full season. So after the season, you can expect to see him making a push. That's why he's in the media now trying to change the narrative about himself. Um, so I expect him to be coaching next year. So, but this year I'm expecting with the Giants, I am expecting Neighbors to help the other guys perform better. And like I said, Wandale Robinson is one of those key guys, and he can help in the run game. So, and then defensively, this team, if they can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, that'll be a big thing, man. That'll be a very, very big thing. So, I look forward to this. I love the challenge and the thought of it. So, if I'm a coach, that's exactly what I would be looking for, man. Definitely would be looking for that. So, but we'll see. I'm just excited that the season is kicking off right now. So, and good luck to everyone with your teams. Whatever your NFL team is, I hope your team is giving you good opportunities to root for them. So next, I want to talk about my New York Liberty. They just played the Seattle Storm last night, and they came away with a big win. They needed this win, and it's helping them position themselves going forward in the playoffs. But New York, was in an early test going back and forth. They were down a little bit, same as when they were in Seattle last week. But New York continued to fight. They continued to fight and they continued to chip away. They were really led, now most people would say Sabrina Ionescu or Brianna Stewart, but it was Queen B, Brenasia Laney. She had 18 points to lead the team in scoring. And, she was doing her thing, playing efficiently on defense, picking back up, where she was before she had the surgery. And she's a key factor to, this team's success, and I think it goes a long way. Like Connecticut, they recently beat New York. And but so her contributions were very important to the team's success, and it goes a long way. It really helps, and she can spot up and hit the three. She can drive and penetrate into the lane, and attack the basket that way. And then defensively, she can play tough on ball defense as well as give good help defense. And she's also helping a lot of the other younger players learn how to play the game of basketball in the WNBA. And her game is going to continue to grow leaps and bounds beyond where it is right now. She's helping New York position themselves very well to hopefully end up with the number one overall seed, and then take it from there in terms of competing for a championship. It's very important that New York continues to play their brand of basketball. Never stop playing. Offensively, keep the ball moving, find the open player, attack the paint, force the defense to collapse, and then kick it out to the open player, whoever it is, even if it's Jonquel Jones. Jonquel did well yesterday. She had 5 blocks. So that's a big thing, to be able to get 5 blocks in a WNBA game. That to me goes a long way. So I like where they are. I like what they're doing. They're positioned very well as the number one team in the league. So they have the number one record for home wins. So like I said, that win last night against Seattle was very important. They continue to lock down Skylar Diggins-Smith. They did well in controlling Gabby Williams, who's working her way back into WNBA form. They did everything they needed to do. Even their bench players came in and did very well to give them key minutes and key contributions in the game. So that was extremely important for New York last night. So let me just take a look here to give a complete breakdown of last night's scores. Here we go. New York last night. Who's this in there? What's up, Command Cave? Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you, brother, as always. Make sure y'all also go and subscribe to the Man Cave. Definitely bringing more and more content out, doing his thing. So help him as well get out there too, ladies and gentlemen. So, but definitely appreciate my brother. But last night, Cave and I even what were we doing? Oh no, we were talking to WNBA. Let's see. Jonquel Jones had 15.8 rebounds, and I think she had 5 blocks last night, which was phenomenal, man. Brianna Stewart had 14.7 rebounds. Sabrina had 17.6 rebounds, 8 assists. Brenaja Laney, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. She did this on 7 of 14 shooting, 2 of 4. So she was 50% from the floor yesterday. Vandersloot was 3 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Leona Phoebus was 5.6 rebounds, 3 assists. She continues to prove how very versatile she is and important to the team's overall performance. So I'm definitely pleased in having her, on this team and watching her continue to grow. For Seattle, Skylar Diggins-Smith led them with 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on 7 of 19 shooting. Jewel Lloyd, quiet night, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Izzy Medbagor, 13.7 rebounds. Gabby Williams, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Nneka Omoguke, 9.6 rebounds and 3 assists. So, they were balanced in terms of their starters, but New York definitely stepped up in terms of their starters to go out there and produce and play at a high level. So game on Sunday, a big game. I'll actually be covering it. It's against the Las Vegas Aces. They're going to be hosting the Aces. So this is a big test. This is a big game for them. Can they sweep the season series? They won earlier in Las Vegas. So this goes a long way to, giving them confidence. Right now, New York has, I think, 2 losses at home. If they can get this, that goes a long way. And it also pushes them closer to winning the best record in all of the playoffs. So, I mean, right now they're sitting 3.5 games in front of the Lynx and the Sun, who, are the Liberty are 28-6, while the Lynx and the Suns are 24-9. So, it goes a long way to, the both teams. I'm sorry, it goes a long way to Liberty continuing what they're doing and putting themselves in a position to make a run for that that first WNBA championship, man. I mean, New York has had several opportunities and, they've come away empty. And, this would be a great, great opportunity and a great time to get your first one because New York is definitely right there. Now, they are going to face some tough tests against the Lynx, against the Sun, against the Aces, even the Fever. The Fever are starting to play very well. So, and they've been the hottest team as of late. They've won their last 5. They've won 8 of 10. When you think about that, that's good basketball, man. That's some good basketball. So, and they can give the Liberty problems. So, and a lot of these teams can give the Liberty problems, but on the flip side, New York can give these team problems also. How do they stop them? So, in terms of efficiency overall, New York is number 1 in terms of overall efficiency. So, offensively and defensively. They are playing at a high level, and getting Bernard Laney back, goes a long way. It really goes a long way for them to be able to position themselves well to compete for that that WNBA championship. So I look forward to these last few games. I think they have 6 games. Hold on, let me just double check here. I know they have the Aces. They have the Wings twice, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, they have 6 games. They have the Aces, 2 on the road against the Wings. They host the Lynx. They're at the Mystics, and then they close out against the Dreams. So, 2 really tough games. At least they're hosting, and those are teams that are right behind them. So, I figure if they can get 3 of the next 4, that's going to lock it up. If they get 4, then they're going to have number 1. They could rest literally for the last 2 games, man, and let the reserves play. So, not saying that's what they should do, but they do have that opportunity to go ahead and do that if they so choose. So, but again, like I said, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to the challenge. As I told you guys earlier, I'm a competitor. I want to compete against the best. So I'm not about playing, teams that are not competitive with the teams I'm associated with. You got to step up and compete with, any team that I coach or, that I fully support. So, but that's it right there in terms of Liberty. Last subject that I'm going to talk about, my Scarlet Knights. Those of you who know me know I always want to talk about my Scarlet Knights. Got to chop the moment. So tomorrow is the Akron season, as Coach Shiano will say. Basically, what that means is you're just preparing for Akron. That's really all they're doing. They're ready now. The Akron is coming off of a 52-6 loss to the Ohio State University. Now, on paper, people will say, "Oh, Rutgers should be able to take care of them. They're the better team." Okay, I can understand that, but you still have to play the game. You play the game to win the game. Akron is not going to come in here to just give Rutgers the game, And one intriguing little footnote is right now Rutgers is preparing for 2 quarterbacks. The quarterbacks that started last week, and then the quarterback who came in. That quarterback is a transfer from Virginia Tech. That's Taj Bullock. Taj actually was the number one recruit in the state of New Jersey coming out of high school before he went to Virginia Tech. Rutgers was there recruiting him, but he ended up going to Virginia Tech. They ended up getting with Gavin Wimsatt at the time, so that's when they moved on. So hindsight is 2020. Bet you you went back. Yeah, you probably would have said, "Let me go after him," but Wimsatt was at the time a bigger win. But if you play against Bullock, he's coming home. His family's going to be there, and he's going to want to show out. So you definitely want to make sure. Yeah, no, I saw Pat. The good stuff, man. I appreciate you. So yeah, so hopefully, we'll talk about this later. I'm not going to talk about it here. So, but with Rutgers, with Taj Bullock, he's a big quarterback. He's about 6'4". He's about 235 ish. He can pass and he can run. Now his accuracy, is not elite, but it's and refined. Head coach Joe Moorhead is a very good coach, a good developer of quarterbacks, has a good system. So this is going to be a very good test for Rutgers. To start, Akron was with Ohio State to start the game, but of course Ohio State has the depth, they have the talent, and they're going to wear on you. Rutgers should hopefully wear on them. Now, some of the issues with Rutgers is they've had a lot of injuries. Last week they didn't have a lot of key players play. So both their starting linebackers were out. Their starting free safety was out. So again, there were quite a few players, offensive linemen. They've lost one deep linebacker to a season-ending season-ending injury that led to surgery. So it's going to be a test. You can't take Akron lightly. If you do, you're going to be in a battle with them, and you may end up on the wrong end of a loss. So Rutgers just needs to come in, focus on taking it one play at a time, and do their jobs. As long as everyone does their jobs, I think Rutgers will be fine, and you'll be able to rest certain guys come the end of the game. Last week, Kyle Monungai was pretty much done in the middle of the third quarter, and he had on 19 carries, 165 yards. And that's kind of what you want to see again. Rutgers rushed for about 300 yards last week. So, in some regards, you want to see the same thing. In the other regards, I want to see a little bit more of the passing attack. Continue to grow the passing attack and open it up. So, and then defensively, the number one thing as a DC, I always stress first and foremost is a goose egg. Shutting out the opposition. And you take it from there step by step. And that's what Rutgers needs to focus on tomorrow is, take it one step at a time. Don't look too far ahead, because after that they have a bye, and then they go down to Blacksburg for a big game against Virginia Tech. Right now they need to stay in the Akron season and take care of, what they need to do on the field. What's up, Gregor? Thanks for tapping in, bro. Really appreciate you, man. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. And real quick before I forget, everyone, make sure you hit that like button on the Hardcore Sports Network and also on Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports. Make sure you guys also subscribe if you haven't already done so, to hit the notification and share on all social media platforms. That'll help this get out into the algorithm and continue to grow. Rutgers plays Akron tomorrow, 12 noon. At SHI Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. So it's going to be it's a big test. Akron is coming off a big loss to the Ohio State University. So in some regards, you could say this is a little measuring stick for Rutgers to see where they are. Since you're not playing the big boys in the conference. Now I'm not saying they need to beat them 52-0, but you know what? If it happens, it happens. But in the same token, you want to make sure you go out there, take care of your business. If you go out there and take care of your business, then I'm not worrying about, Akron in that regard. Rutgers does have the talent and the tools to handle the business. But They can't go in there taking it lightly. They can't be thinking about, oh, we have a break next week and then Virginia Tech. No, right now it's about Akron. It's all about Akron. And like I said, you have Akron coming back with one of their quarterbacks. If he starts, he's a Jersey boy, and he was recruited by Rutgers. So this is their opportunity to say, hey, you may have been a Jersey boy, but you're no longer a Jersey boy. You're an Ohio boy. So, and you go ahead and you focus on them. We're taking care of our business. So, and get that game over with early in a sense, and then allow yourself to play a lot of younger players so they can get game reps. So if you're up 30 points at halftime, then you can start saying, middle of third quarter, you're starting to slowly remove certain key players after a series or two, and then they'll be done for the game. And just let those reserve guys go ahead and go out there and work and get them the rep, because it's not only then as a coach, you could say, well, I got to think about the future also. So let me get them reps so they can be here. So if they have to go in, they are familiar with what they need to do. That's the first thing. Second of all, you're prepping for the future years. That's what I mean by the future. So this way, once all the seniors who are there graduate next year, these guys who are playing this year, no matter how little, have some game experience. And that's what's most important in their development. And Coach Yano does a great job. He's talked about it before at the different coaching clinics that I've been there. In private conversations, he alluded to some of those type of ways of going about your business. So that's how you develop your players. You want to make sure that you handle your business accordingly. So this way you can get the younger guys some ability to play so they can develop, because that's the only way players truly grow as players. Some will say in meetings and practice, and that's good and that's necessary. But the best way for a player to develop is actually on the football field. There's no other way for them to develop but on the football field, going up against another team from another jersey, seeing what that player is doing. So, and how do you adjust and react to what that player is doing? So, as great as a coach as I can be, I can teach you things, but in the end, it is that player going out there on the field and executing the plays and doing their assignments, which is a reflection on the coaches and those who are invested in those players. So, but tomorrow, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a big test, in that regard, mentally getting them ready and taking it from there. Tomorrow I'm looking for key guys to really stand out. Kyle Monungai, the offensive line. Matter of fact, in terms of Big Ten circles, it was Kyle Monungai and the Rutgers offensive line that received the recognition last week for their performance. So I'm expecting to see that again. And Ethan Kaliakmanis, I'm looking for him to come out and continue to grow within this system and pass the ball. Last week he had all his touchdown passes were a dump off for a long touchdown. I want to see him step it up. I want to see Dymere Miller, stretch the field. People talked about his speed, so I want to see that. Defensively, I want to see Dario Jerome continue to perform the way he's been performing. I mean, last week he was all over the field, which was great. Especially when you're down two starting linebackers. When your backup comes in and he performs like that, great. I definitely want to see him. Aaron Lewis, senior edge rusher, defensive end. I need to see him step up, and I'm hoping that he performs and gets about 2 sacks. If he can get 2 sacks, that'll go a long way. So he hasn't been able to do it so far, but that's what I'm hoping for. Going forward. So. Let me see. Who else am I? If Flip Dixon is playing, I want to see how he's doing. And our cornerbacks and Eric Rogers and Robert Longerbeam continue to do what you've been doing, fellas. In terms of standing out. So, but also, Coach Yano, how do you stand out? As a coach. I want to see him stand out, because that's important too. Watching him stand out, watching him develop, watching him grow, and taking this program and continuing it, moving it up and up. So because as we go forward, you have Virginia Tech, you have Washington, you have Nebraska. Those are the next three after this Akron game. So you also have Wisconsin after that. So it's not like people talked about, oh, Rutgers has an easy schedule. No, they don't. No, they don't. Washington showed that they're still, Nebraska, it's a good program. Wisconsin, a good program. So Rutgers does not have it easy just because they're not playing Ohio State, just Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, Oregon. They're still playing some tough talent. So, yeah, Gregor, it's a tough schedule. Just because they're not playing the top boys. I mean, you have, Washington, UCLA, and USC on your schedule. You have Wisconsin. You have Maryland. Maryland has been giving Rutgers problem the past few years. I mean, literally, they've been taking them to the woodshed. You have Illinois, which is a tough team. Michigan State, new coaching staff is going to be, a tough brand. So, now they're on par with all those teams. I'm not saying Rutgers isn't a good team. They are, but it goes a long way. So, and this is what's most important. So, but that's going to be it today, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone for, tapping in. That's what I, wanted to talk about on this Reading Attack. Tomorrow, I'll be covering the Rutgers versus Akron game at 12 noon. So you can tap in 11:45. I always do a pregame show. So, sit here, get us ready 15 minutes before the game kicks off. Usually kicks off another 10 minutes after that. So it's plenty of time to get you guys revved up for the game. And I may, depending on, I may be doing the Colorado versus Nebraska game tomorrow night. And I may end up doing a 10 o'clock game tomorrow night. So it probably is going to be a long football day for me, but it's what I want. It's what I call for. It's what I love to do. So, but that's what I have Sunday. Giants conversation. I'll tap in with that. I also am doing the New York Liberty versus the Aces game. That's a 4 o'clock tip off, 3:45. I'll be doing the pregame show. Monday, another Reading Attack. Tuesday, Heart of the City. Wednesday, Pick and Roll podcast, as well as the Doing It for the R or Rutgers Sports, and then probably some Giants Giants talk late at night. Thursday, doing the Full Court Press, and up until next Friday. And next Friday, yes, it is, Gregor. College football for me is the best sport. That's me. I know everyone else loves the NFL first, but it's college football, the WNBA before the NFL for me. So, and then next Friday, I'm not going to be doing another Reading Attack. I'm actually going to be back. Philly halftime and I are moving the halftime coaching adjustment show to Friday nights. So next Friday around this time, we're going to be doing the halftime coaching adjustment show. So be on. Make sure you guys make note of that. So that. But that's it. Thank you to Gregor, Big Pat, Man Cave, Bruce Hopper, Koofman, Arku, Daniel Berry, Mitch Kofsky. Thank you, everyone, for tapping in. I really appreciate you all. You guys are phenomenal. That's one of the reasons why I do this. I love to do it, love to talk about it, but, also do it for you guys. So with that being said, you guys have a great evening. Be safe. If you're watching the game, go ahead, tune in and enjoy. And as I say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Peace.